B2B commerce. So what is this? How is that different from the actual online stores that are like B2C or D2C? So today we review a B2B commerce store, and I already opened one of the examples. If you want to watch other store teardowns, click the link in the pinned comment to this video. And now we're going to review the Tygris. So I already opened a main page of the store, and as we can see, that's how it looks like right away. What is suggesting that we're on the online store is this banner says Black Friday, but not much more is actually suggesting. So we clearly can see at least a visual difference from generic, let's say a usual D2C or a sort of B2C store and B2B. But let's review step by step. Main page sections. We have a cookie alert banner right away, so I'm clicking accept, and we can see the main page. They have a swipe carousel with some banners on the very top in the hero section. It is clearly not optimized for mobile viewport, and they not follow the mobile first trend in place for D2C commerce for a long while, but B2B is more behind on the most recent user experience tricks and some hacks, so they could not implement it just yet. And here we're seeing a YouTube short embed and start right away with the products. And as we can see, it's some suggested products. In this specific case, they display prices right away. In many cases, B2B stores require you to sign up for an account just to see a pricing in the first place, or they would just show you a price that is generic, general price for general audience, and it would not include obviously your negotiated discounts and stuff like that. So this is basically not always like this, but in their case they actually show the price. And now we have a carousel of the collections shop by industries, and we can definitely say we're on a B2B store, because one of the things that actually differentiate B2B stores is that they're offering supplies and products that are then used by other manufacturers or other businesses to produce goods or handling or spare parts. All of those stuff is essentially for usage in other business, but there is also like B2B apparel stores, B2B beauty and stuff like that. So this is essentially not only enclosing into some heavy industry topics and stuff like that. So that's the carousel of the collections. Now we have some things that they promote and they feel like we need to know more about them: food safety, industrial vibes, and protection. Next we have a section with most popular products, expert picks, or new arrivals. This is a product section, and they have obviously a content around the products they offering, so they organized it into a category called Tygris Academy. And what else we have? The differentiator icons like free shipping, for life guarantee, join our distribution family, and stuff like that. So all of those things usually on D2C shops are way higher. Here they placed it on the footer, but they're still in place. And what we can see in the footer, they have expandable sections in accordion style. This Irvine is actually Irvine in the UK. It's not the one in Orange County, so just a side note. But essentially we can see that they have additional navigation, shop navigation, brands, and information. There's not much of the content sections here, but probably Tygris Academy will have a lot of SEO specific and SEO juice related content. Okay, so let's take a look how the main navigation looks like then. And we have their main collections here listed. So very nicely done front end, that it is basically blocks the scroll, and you can actually scroll the thing without scrolling the underneath page, and that's useful. But let's take a look on the specific collection. So one of the things about B2B stores is that they can carry a completely different types of products, which makes An additional challenge on the collection page was sorting and product discovery. So let's take a look on the aerosols, and there is subcategories for this, and I should say they did a great job creating those icons, because one of the biggest challenges is actually come up with like how specific thing could be drawn as an icon. Cool, so we have different types of sorting, and this is a display settings on how we're going to see the products on the listing, multiple options, how many items per page, and a very standard set of the sorting here, basically by reviews and most popular and so on and so on. So this is how the thumbnail of a product looks like. You can right away see, in case of B2B stores, the inventory, like the amount assortment of a product is way larger, so they could handle thousands of SKUs, and there's not much reviews. So if we're talking about D2C, we usually see like reviews are being exposed very nicely, and they've been shown that there's this product have a lot of reviews and stuff like that. In B2B, there's not the case. The business know what they bought before, or they know how this specific product is a bit different from the another one, so it would not prevent anyone from, I mean, let's say generally it would not prevent somebody from buying a product if it would just not have reviews as well. So it's not as that important. We don't see any buy now, pay later. We don't see the split payments, but we can actually see something like Avalara, Affirm, but it is more tailored to B2B and post-payment solutions. And what we can see here is that we basically able to add to cart, and when I clicked add to cart, we have a cart model being opened, and from there we can either click continue shopping or view the cart, or proceed to checkout. So like, let's do continue shopping and take a look on how the other collection page would looks like. So food cleaners, okay, it takes some time to load even on 5G. And food safe cleaners, they look pretty much similar to the previous collection. There's no specific ways how to sort them or filter them differently. One of the other problems, another differentiator of the B2B stores, is that their product titles are very technical. So you basically see codes like TF8750, because this code translates some properties of that product, and it's important to be in place, so this way we don't see like, oh, this jacket is nice, the material is cool, whatever, but it's more about like to the point. And we can see that they also show their availability levels, which is not so common in case of D2C, where the shops tend to either they are drop shipping and they don't show the inventory levels, or they tend to hide that information, and there is no clarity on like, are they arriving to a point where they out of stock, or there's plenty of items in stock and stuff like that. So that's why we can see. And again, we can add to cart, or we can add it to quote. Different option here, which is pretty much a must-have for any B2B store. So request for quotes and building a quote is an essential functionality for B2B stores. This way we can for sure tell we are on a B2B e-commerce. So how does that work? Usually businesses collect a shopping cart, I don't know, 10, 20 products, X amount of products, and they can actually add it to quote, and then the sales representative will reach out either by email, or they will hop on a phone call, or it will be automated. So they will request for quote, they will ask for a discount on a specific item, or they will ask for an overall discount, and then the transaction would happen in case everything is accepted, and then basically the invoice could be sent. So it's not necessarily will be paid by card, and in many cases it will be ACH transfer or a wire transfer, but at the end of the day it also could be just an invoice sent from the QuickBooks and paid by a company that making this order. So we are currently on a product details page, so having just one product photo is okay. In some cases B2B e-commerce stores have no photos at all, and any judgment is based solely on part number or whatever the thing that identifies this product. So actually it's not a big deal that this product doesn't have multiple photos. On the other hand, like, what other photos you will make for the product like this? And we can see that they do have some certifications and some badges here shown, and description, approval certificate, allergen, safety data sheet, tag sheet. So those are all additional files supporting PDFs that are important as a documentation to this product. We have extensive product description, which is also not always seen. So in some cases you see like, okay, this is a product title and this works well with XYZ, but not much extensive information. Again, 0 reviews, but it's not a trouble. We have a shipping and returns policy right away on the product details page, custom product tab, which just looks like somebody just did not remove a section on a theme, and basically it contains a placeholder text like lorem ipsum and stuff like that. So this is obviously a bug. This is a cool feature. Have a question, ask an expert. So like, click and ask an expert, that will open the form and we can actually ask some questions. And we have related product section, which looks quite fancy, and customer also view. Cool. So this is basically how the product details page look like. Let's try to build a quote. So now I'm clicking add to quote, and we potentially supposed to see now the quote. This is basically our quote submitting process. Contact email, contact name, company name, phone number, quote title. So usually when we're talking about B2B, it means that I can register this quote in my own internal ERP system. That's why I have the reference number, or I can have a quote title, or I can have both. So this way I can identify what quote we're talking about internally or with this company. Shipping address, billing address, and message. And those are the products in the quote. And we can actually extend the quote by searching other products and adding them to this quote. So you can see that the form is very extensive, and normally all the tips and tricks for D2C says like, make creation of account as frictionless as possible, the shortest possible forms, and so on and so forth. Just make it super easy. While in B2B, new customers, new companies are actually trying to evolve the customer experience and bring it as close as possible to the D2C, and it is good actually. In some cases, those long forms just exist and you will fill them up just because you need that product, and there's not a big enough friction to just abandon the ordering process. As well, this is how the industry actually handles their processes, and it's not necessary on another shop of the competition this form will be shorter or it will not be existing at all. It could be simply same length form and same amount of fields, same difficulty to create a quote or make a purchase. So this is the reality of B2B e-commerce stores. Cool. So this is how a quote looks like. We can open a cart. It is pretty like non-readable on mobile because it basically shows portion of text as slightly different from the background color. So it's like black on black, and it is clearly suggesting that this online store was not tested on mobile as much, and most likely on desktop it is displays it just fine. And now we can review their SEO tactics and ways how they build so-called SEO juice. So they have a listing of brands they working together, and this is basically not much of them, but normally you can expect them to be a full page, a lot of logos and stuff like that, since there is a separate page for it. Because if it's just 5 of them, they could nicely sit in the footer as just a line of links. But that's how it looks like. The information section is containing the Academy, and Academy is purely a blog. So we have a bunch of blog posts that are explaining some crucial points, and those blog posts are done very nicely. They have videos, they have content, and a pretty extensive amount of knowledge. So it's sort of working both ways. So on one side it contributes to the SEO, on the other side it basically works as a knowledge base, and in case some clients want to figure out how to make orders, or they're lost, or they need some help, they can actually refer to this content. And this is pretty much it. If we're talking about the information, we have the classic About Us page, and not much information there. As you can see, the visual and overall design wise, there's not much going on. So it basically wall of text sort of. So in their case, it's actually cool that they made videos and that they put some pictures and stuff like that, but in many cases it's just text and some color background, not much images even. This is the reality of B2B e-commerce stores. We can sign up for newsletter, but it's unclear why we should sign up for a newsletter. It just says your email address and submit. So this is funny and counterintuitive a bit. So let's take a look on the checkout. So we can go to the checkout and make checkout now and see the classic, in this case it's BigCommerce, I guess, checkout flow, and finish the purchase. So in their case they're selling also one item, but there are B2B e-commerce stores that selling only in bulk or by cart or by pallet or something like that. So this is also different from case to case, and we'll for sure review some other stores, and make sure just to follow and subscribe for our playlist for the e-commerce store teardowns. Okay, so this is time to figure out their traffic through SimilarWeb. I don't expect some astonishing amount of traffic because it's B2B, it's not D2C, so it obviously not so heavily advertised, I guess, but let's take a look. Okay, so here we go. Cookies are very useful. I like to know about them very much. Cool. So as expected, I don't know why it is so much problems with the overlays. It's ridiculous, but as expected, the amount of traffic is below 5,000 users per month. It could be inaccurate simply because the measurement of SimilarWeb would be difficult in case of the stores like this. No data to display about the geographics, age, and customer acquisition like SEO or paid or social traffic. So this is something that you can expect and see from B2B e-commerce store. We'll see more in further. Stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll see more stores teardowns in further episodes. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye bye.